Hey guys, Evelyn here, nutrition director here at Ascent Trim with our founder Dawn.
Hi, everybody.
And today I just wanted to interview him. Basically, this man has just, we've really thrown everything at him. And we have used him kind of as our study of everything that we do here. And so I wanted to ask him some questions because just in the last 90 days, we've been here for a short period of time. This was a dentist office where we are back in November. And over the last 90 days, what I want to know is, Don has had the surgeries for weight loss as well before. And that's one of the leading factors in why he wanted to create a place where he could have all the things that he didn't have access to. And so for the first question is I want to ask you, what's the biggest difference from having the surgery versus GLP support and peptide support?
Great question. So the surgery experience for me was not great. As you know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was going through my most extreme weight gains and feeling like I was most trapped, the solution back then was, for me, was first the gastric band. And so I had that surgery done, and my body went through a process called encapsulation, where it basically spent 2 years rejecting this foreign body. So it attacked it with scar tissue, and without knowing why, I just had a harder time getting food to go down, swallowing it. It's supposed to be an adjustable band, and even though I extracted all the solution from this thing, it never allowed food to go. And 2 years later, my skin had turned yellow. I was having a hard time getting soup to go down. I remember going to dinner with people and literally just kind of having to vomit into my napkin without people, hopefully nobody would see that that was going on. So it was super embarrassing and painful. Then I had that reversal, which it had so much scar tissue around it, they actually had to slice me open, and I almost died on the table for the reversal. And then because I gained a bunch of weight when the band came out, I did the bypass after that. All of that was a ton of money, a ton of pain, and it never really eventually worked anyway. So even though they'd removed part of my intestines and shrunk my stomach size via surgery, if you don't change your habits, then eventually that all stretches out again. And so I still gained weight after all of that. And that was one of the reasons I really wanted to do something different that focuses on success, not just here's a magic shot or here's a surgery that's supposed to fix everything. We have an entire system here that really works.
And you probably felt really terrible
Oh,
going
I
through
felt
that.
horrible
On
after
a
that.
health standpoint, like your minerals and all those things were probably really depleted.
Yeah, I was literally starving to death. Yeah, it
Wow.
was awful. Yep. So
So, in comparison to what we've been doing the last 90 days, and again, we're going to link a before and after so you can see just in that is we've noticed such a noticeable visibility. So, in how you look and how you feel, you are doing GLP support, correct?
I am. Yep.
You're doing the NAD plus and the
Yes,
Sermorelin,
I am. Yep.
correct? And then the GHKCU serum.
I am. Yeah.
Okay, so what are you noticing about these things in support of your energy, how you look, and how you feel?
It is life changing for me. So even some point during this video, we'll show you guys kind of what I looked like, which I was happy with. I felt like I was at my goal weight. I'd gotten down to, I think, close to around 200 pounds, and I was super happy there. I had a bunch of extra skin, and I think one of the pictures you'll see was me kind of with my extra skin there, which I'm still working on. But I didn't have really much muscle definition, and, I was still pretty happy with where I was. And then I started going to the gym pretty regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I started taking some of the peptides, and the peptides that we recommend are ones that help just lose the fat and not lose the muscle. And so as I was working out at the gym and sort of changing my lifestyle, incorporating all of the things, I'm also using the GHKCU serum. So I'm trying to, I've got that typical male pattern balding that usually hits the spot, which has already changed some of that for me. So it's kind of like all the things. So I'm 53 years old, and I'm healthier now than I was in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s combined. And so it's a really kind of a fun, weird feeling for me. I think mentally I'm always going to be kind of the little fat kid. But it's a great feeling. Like I just am impressed with what I'm able to do. So I'm more certain now that aging is natural, but decline is not. You don't have to decline. You can actually continue to get healthier in your 50s and in your 60s and your 70s, and you don't have to settle for this preconceived notion of, oh, I'm getting older, so I should make noises when I stand up. That was my joke for years. I'm like, why did I make a noise when I stood up? And why am I cracking and popping all the time? But the back pains that I had, a lot of the joint pains that I felt before, those are going away. So it's crazy.
What I love is we're going to be also talking on Wednesdays about, we're going to call it our pep rally. We're going to go into the detail of the peptides that he's talking about. But right now, I just really want you guys to have a visual of a before and after in 90 days time. someone who already thought that they were at goal, was happy with where they were, created a space for people to have this option of health and wellness in one place, and you're watching in real time this happen before you. We are going to link his sculpting before and after pictures as well, because you guys have seen on repeat his before and afters, but we have his before, his during, and then we're going to do an update today in real time of him getting sculpted on his abdomen. The other thing I want to ask you is just what would you say is the most relevant thing that you want people to know from a person who's lost weight in their journey or is in the process?
You can succeed. When the GLP-1 medicines first came out, everybody thought it was the magic pill. I just take a shot and suddenly I look skinny. But that isn't healthy. And we really have a mission here to make sure that you have all the things to protect and keep your muscle, to lose the fat. I actually, in my own scans from 3 months ago, and maybe we can show those during this video at some point, but I have my last scan, I think I did a week or two ago, and I showed that I was at 6% body fat, which makes zero sense in my brain. I don't even understand how that's possible, but that I actually not only kept muscle, but increased muscle and lost fat. And so that's really the goal, is that, again, I'm in my early to mid 50s, and this is possible for anybody, no matter where you are. Don't just say, I want to go take a shot and it's going to get better, but say to yourself, I want to get better and healthy, and have that be a long-term goal for yourself. And if that's where you are, then we definitely have things here at Ascent Trim Wellness that can help with that.
I love it so much. Thank you so much, Don.
Yeah, thanks
Before
for asking.
we tap out, will you give a little flex for us? Because look at this, look at that muscle. Okay, so we're going to talk more about the peptides and how they help secure and preserve your lean muscle and target your body to go after your stored fat. So just stay tuned, and thanks for watching, guys.
Bye, guys.